this morning. Amen? Just a little bit, and we're going to talk about this a little bit. The purpose of circumcision. The purpose of circumcision. I'm going to teach, and then we're going to preach a little bit. We might holler a little bit, and hopefully I have some voice for tomorrow when I have to teach. First thing is the recognition of the covenant. The recognition of the covenant. The covenant that God made with Abraham to bless him and his descendants was to be sealed with the circumcision of the males. This was applied to his natural son and to all of his servants or slaves. The act of circumcision was an act of one, sanctification and holiness. Y'all stay with me. It set the Hebrews apart. That's what we got sanctification said, to make you set apart. And it made them different. That is holiness. That is kadosh. It said made them different from those that were in the land with them. Now, the second thing about circumcision was, it was a cutting away of excess flesh. Amen? Cutting away of excess flesh. The physical act itself was to cut away excess flesh from a man. It was an unnecessary flesh that had to be removed at the 8th day of a child's birth. The act of circumcision was called a bris. And Jews still celebrate a bris to this day, the celebration of another child coming into covenant with Yahweh. Circumcision and following the law identified them as Hebrews, given the fact that they didn't look very different from their neighbors. You got to think about the first Hebrew that we know of is going to be Abraham. Abraham was born in southeastern Iraq. So he looks like people around him. He had the same manners and customs as people around him. So the first thing that God did to make them different was, I need you guys to circumcise yourself. Okay? And then later on, after they spent 400 years inside of Egypt, they came out looking like Egyptians. If you don't believe it, Joseph just spent about 40 years in Egypt, and he looked like an Egyptian to a point his brother did not even recognize him. So God says now, beyond the circumcision, I'm going to tell y'all something. Circumcision is not just unique to Jews. Guess who else circumcised people? The Egyptians circumcised. So if you were only going to circumcise, y'all gonna hear me, if you're only going to circumcise, that would be nothing different from what the Egyptians did. So God said now, the next part of the covenant will be the law. So if you follow the law and you are circumcised, that makes you Hebrew. So the question is, what does this act symbolize for Christians? What does it mean for us? We learned from Paul that the physical act of circumcision is not nearly as important as the transformation that comes from Jesus. In Galatians 6 and 15 it says, for in Christ Jesus neither circumcision availeth anything, nor uncircumcision, but a new what? Creature. So it doesn't matter if you're circumcised or not circumcised. What matters is if you are a new creature. The circumcision does not matter on a spiritual level unless you become a new creature in Christ. But even in the Old Testament, that's why I don't like people who are doctrinally unsound and who speak things that are not always right. You know, even in the Old Testament, God was already telling them that this is not good enough. That circumcision is not really what I want from you. It's an act, it's a symbol, but it's not all that I want from you. In Deuteronomy the 30th chapter, in the 6th verse, it says, and the Lord thy God will circumcise thy what? I will circumcise thy heart and the heart of thy seed to love the Lord thy God with all thine heart, with all thy soul, and that thou mayest live. It takes God, y'all better hear me on this one, to remove the excess flesh from our hearts so that our intentions and our motivations are not corrupted by the sinful nature that we came out of. And you cannot truly love God without a circumcised heart. I'm learning that you can be saved and you can accept Christ, but you can't love him if your heart ain't circumcised. As long as your heart has too much flesh on it, you're going to love yourself and not God. And the reason why Christians do not follow Christ in the way that they should is because they have too much flesh on their heart. Y'all ain't heard me with that one. Sometimes we are still inside of the flesh, and it needs to be cut away so that you can have a heart for him and for his will. And until we allow God to cover the flesh that covers our heart and corrupts our ways, we cannot love God with our whole heart and with our soul. Because the Bible says, well, your treasure of your heart be also. If your heart is in your flesh, you're going to do what the flesh wants. You're going to go where the flesh wants you to go. You're going to do what the flesh wants to do. You cannot say, Lord, thy will, not my will be done. You're going to say, Lord, I'm going to do what makes me happy. So we got to do that. An uncircumcised heart is easily distracted and is turned away from anything but what it wants. This is why we got to stop telling people to follow your heart. Sounds good, don't it? Follow your heart. Y'all done follow your heart and some crazy stuff, haven't you? We have followed our heart into some bad relationships. We follow our heart to some bad jobs, some bad connections, some bad covenants with people because you followed your heart. But I'm going to tell you why you can't follow your heart. The Bible says, for the heart of man is deceitful. It's deceitful. It will trick you, won't it? You want something with all your heart, but then you think, if I get this, I'm going to be happy. But when you get there, you realize, I've been deceived. I thought this was going to be good for me, but it ain't good for me. And Lord, I did it with all of my heart. I worked it with all my heart. But God told you that your heart is deceitful. And until that heart is circumcised, you can't hear what God wants you to do. You can't do what God wants you to do. That's why God says that I love you, but I gotta cut you. Until you are cut, you will never have a heart for me. Until you are cut, you will never put me first. And your flesh will always block your view of me. We need to be cut so that we can live. Somebody say live. An uncut life is no life at all. I don't want to be a Christian who ain't cut. I don't want to be a Christian who's going to come inside of church and deal with my issues and what's going on with me and follow what I want. But then I said, Lord, I want to be a Christian. To be Christian means to be Christ-like. And the Bible says that Jesus, that Christ, he did not do what he wanted to do. He did what his Father sent him to do. And we can't never be Christians, y'all. This is hard preaching, but it's true. We can never be real Christians until our heart is cut. So the excess flesh is cut. So we need to be cut so we can live an uncut life and no life at all. He came to give us life and life abundantly, but it requires a cutting away of the flesh. Being cut is a matter of life and death. If you plan on walking in the newness of life that Christ has purchased for you, you have to cut away the flesh. So the thing that got me about the scripture, it says that they were born in the wilderness. Somebody say born in the wilderness. You see, now not all the people that came out were circumcised, but all the people that were born in the wilderness, verse 5, by the way that they came forth out of Egypt, them they had not circumcised. See, this applies, I want y'all to get this, to Christians as well. This is a symbolism of being born again. Because Egypt is a symbol of what? Sin, right? The Jews say that Egypt is a symbol of sin. The Hebrews were out of Egypt, but their children were born into the what? The wilderness. Now I'm going to tell you something. A person that is born again is no longer in sin. So you can't say I'm born inside of sin because you've been born again, haven't you? So God didn't birth you back into sin. You're not born inside of Egypt, but you are born out, you are no longer in sin because of the cross. But just because you are out of sin does not mean that you reach the promised land. Am I being real in the house? You ain't in the promised land yet. You were out of Egypt, but you were born into the wilderness. You were born into three things. You were born into transition. Somebody say transition. Somebody say trial. Somebody say transformation. You have not yet made it to the promised land. You can't keep your heels up yet and sit back yet. You may be out of sin, but you still have to deal with the wilderness. Now, I know we don't want to hear that because we think that as soon as we get saved, everything's hunky-dory. Everything's going to be good. But you don't understand. You are out of Egypt, but you still must contend with the wilderness. And the reason why people don't stay saved very long is because they don't want to contend with the wilderness. Now, three things I want to talk about real quick. One, you are born into transition. You are born into a shifting. You are in a process or a period of changing from one state or one condition to another. You shouldn't be the same anymore. You shouldn't act the same anymore. As long as you are in this world, you are in transition because this world is not your home. Do not love the world, nor the things of the world. The Bible says it, doesn't it? Because you are not here just to love the world. The world is not your home. You're in transition. And Jesus is getting you ready to meet God, the Father. He has to present you. So he says, no, I need you to understand that I must transition you from the way you were to the way you need to be, because when I show you to my daddy, you gotta have it right, man. You gotta have it right, because some of us want to see Jesus, want to see God, but we won't even recognize him. Because we don't spend enough time with him sometimes. If you plan on staying the same, you will become entangled in the wilderness and never become a son of God that he's given you the power to become. I love what Pharaoh told his people. He said when he let the children of Israel go, he said, let's go chase them, because maybe they have become entangled in the wilderness. That's what he said, right? He said, they ain't going nowhere. They've been slaves for 400 years. They don't even know how to get out of here. As soon as they hit the wilderness, they're going to be stuck in the wilderness. And sometimes our problem is we become entangled with the things of this world, and we're not transitioning, y'all better hear me, out of what God wants us to be. Oh, y'all better hear me. We must transition out of it. We must not become entangled in the wilderness. 2, you are born into trials. Somebody say trials. James 1:3 says, knowing this, that the trying of your faith, it worketh patience. Faith is worthless unless it has stood trial. You cannot talk to me about how great a faith you have if you don't have no patience. If everything happens as soon as you pray for it, you ain't got no faith. I had to learn that, this week, I was praying and I told people, I said, look, I believe that Monday I'm going to hear. I told y'all that. I ain't say God said it. I said I believe. I said Monday I'm going to be able to hear it. Guess what happens? Monday I couldn't hear it. But you know what? My faith was being tried. Because you can want what you want. God's going to do what you're ready to do. We can desire what we want to desire, but God's going to do what he wants to do when he wants to do it. Tuesday, I felt a little bit better. Wednesday, I can hear a little bit better. Thursday, I can hear a little bit better. I said, Lord, you're trying my faith so I can have some patience. Somebody say patience. But the wilderness is necessary to try you, so you got some patience to wait on the thing that's hoped for with the evidence of things not seen. Every trial that you've gone through was necessary. Somebody say necessary. It was necessary to try your faith and work some patience inside your life. And one of the worst things one of the biggest things we got to get as far as people of God is patience. To be able to wait on God. God said, I'm going to do it. Can you wait on God? Do you have enough faith to be patient? And the only way God said to give you some patience is by trying your faith. Isn't that true? That you've been sick and you want to get well, but God said, no, I'm going to try your faith. God, I wish you can help me out financially right now and do the raw and fix all these things. God said, no, I'm going to try your faith. God, I wish you saved my loved one right now. God said, no, I'm going to try your faith because you need some patience. Because the devil is looking at you saying, yeah, of course he's going to believe you because you were genie for him, you were genie for her. You just rub on the magic bottle and pray a little bit and tomorrow you fix it for him. He just prayed one time, tomorrow you fix it for him. But he told God, he said, skin for skin and a man will forsake God. Hey! And then when he told God about Job, he said, yeah, the hedge is around him. Take away the hedge and make him have some patience a little while and he'll forsake you. But God said, no, you have to consider my servant Job. He got some patience. He just got faith, but his faith has been tried, so now he has patience. So the last thing, you were born into a process of transformation. Someone say transformation. Nobody goes in the wilderness and comes out the same way. You don't go through a trying time in your life and come out the same way. Some of y'all have lost loved ones, and I'm empathetic to that because I haven't lost people very close to me yet. But I've learned that people say, you don't come out the same, do you? I'm being real. There's some of y'all who gone through that, y'all can say, man, you don't come out the same. You don't go through trying times in your life and come out the same way. You're going to be transformed. You're going to be a different person. I ain't going to say you'll be a worse person, but you're going to be different. You're going to be a different person. The wilderness is going to transform you into a person that can trust God for water in the desert. You'll be able to trust God for bread from heaven. You'll be able to trust God to protect you from the heat in the day and the cold at night. You'll be able to trust God to bring down walls and strongholds, and trust God to pour waters in front of you and to destroy every enemy that rises up against you. The wilderness has a transforming effect. I would have never had the kind of the patience I had. I would never had the kind of faith I had God not put me through a wilderness in my life. And the problem is, and I'm preaching y'all real quick, we are praying, God bring me out, God bring me out, God bring me out. God said, no, I don't want to bring you out. I want to bring a new person out. I want to bring somebody stronger out, somebody who's wiser out. I want to bring somebody else out. I want to leave you there and bring a new you out. Oh, y'all better hear me. Don't waste your wilderness. Tell your neighbor and say, don't waste your wilderness. Don't waste this time. That when you come out of this, you're going to be better. You're going to be wiser. You're going to be stronger than you were. God said, don't waste your wilderness. Don't go through all that and come out worse than what you went in. Don't go through all that and come out the same. No. I want to be better. People say, I didn't know this person all these years and he's still the same. I know what you mean by that, but it's not really correct, because if you met me at 20 and now you see me at 30, I'm the same at 35, I'm the same person. I wasted 15 years of my life. I want to be better. Y'all ain't heard me. I want to be better. I want to be better. I'm going through the wilderness for a reason. I want to be better. The wilderness has a transforming effect. God is allowing you to go through the wilderness so you be transformed by the experience. And if he didn't allow it, you would remain the same, but you were born in the wilderness for a purpose. So now the question is, and we got to get on out of here, is it is time for the reproach to be rolled away. The verse 9 says, and the Lord said unto Joshua, this day have I rolled away the reproach of Egypt from off of you. As long as they were uncircumcised, there was a reproach attached to the people. A reproach is an expression of disapproval or disappointment. I don't approve of what you're doing, and I'm disappointed in you. Now, have you ever worked for somebody, or had a mentor, had a teacher, had a boss who told you that they were disappointed in you? Isn't that worse sometimes than them fussing at you? Have you ever had your parents to tell you, I'm disappointed in you? You ever had that one teacher who said, I'm disappointed in you? Isn't that worse than when they just fuss at you? Like, I really wish you just went ahead and fussed at me and said all that stuff. I could have took that. But for you to say that you're disappointed in me, it means that you had expectations that I did not fulfill. Isn't that true? That is true. So God said there's a reproach on them. There's disapproval. There's disappointment. I don't want to be saved, I'm going to preach y'all, and have a reproach attached to my life. I don't want God disappointed in me. I can't compare myself to you or make an excuse for myself. I don't want God disappointed in me. And sometimes we appoint everybody in church. Well, they ain't acting right. I wouldn't have said it, they wouldn't have said it. I wouldn't have did it, they would have did this. We point to everybody else. We make all these excuses. And God says, I'm disappointed in you. I expected more from you. And if God is never disappointed in you, he must not have very high expectations for you. Am I being real? Am I being real? We expect certain things from certain people, though. You know, I learned with me and my job, they expect me to dress a certain way. Man, I came and I had to class this summer. You know, summertime, we kind of, we dressed down a little bit. I didn't wear shorts, I wanted to. I didn't wear no shorts. But one time I just, I dressed down, had a little polo, I had my shirt tucked in that day, and I was just kind of casual. And one of my students who took my class twice, I'm not going to call his name, because that's if he took my class twice. He took my class twice, and he said, Mr. Baker, what's wrong with you? He said in the front row, I said, man, what you talking about? He said, you don't look the same right now. He said, because I'm used to you dressing a little bit better than that, Mr. Baker. So one day, I was in the summer, they relax the dress code in the summer. We don't have a dress code, we don't have a dress code. I just had an expectation for myself. And I said, Lord, I had an expectation for myself. And because he had seen me, he now had expectations of me too. And looking at me, even though he don't dress well. Ain't never want to see him wear nothing with a collar on it ever. It's always t-shirts. And he don't even dress well, but he had expectations of me. Can I preach to somebody inside of here who really sold out for God, who really loved God, who is really for God all the way? God has some expectations of you, and you can't be looking at everybody else saying they do this and they do that, and you ain't saying nothing else. God said, I have expectations of you, and you disappointed me. Don't it hurt? Don't it hurt? God said, Lord, I don't want you disappointing me. Don't settle for being a child of God and have a reproach attached to you when God can circumcise your heart and roll away the reproach away from you. He brought you out of sin for a reason. He delivered you so you can worship him in the spirit of holiness. There should be nothing in your life that he does not approve of, or that he's disappointing him. It is time for the reproach to be rolled away. For the reproach to be rolled away, you have to be cut. Somebody say cut. The reproach was not rolled away until after they were cut. The excess flesh has to go for them to be approved by God. We have been operating too long with excess flesh. It's time to be cut. If you don't mind real quick, I'm about to get out of here with your high five to 3 people and tell them it's time to be cut. Because I want to let you know something. He loves you, but you still got to be cut. He loves you just the way you are, but he has higher expectations for you. Don't ever let no one tell you that God don't love you. God said, I still love you, but I have some expectations. And the only way